Hello everyone. So you know that we have already derived the Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equations, and there we have unknown Reynolds stress, and later we used Boussinesq eddy viscosity approximation, and we have written the apparent viscosity as summation of molecular viscosity plus turbulent viscosity. Now the question is how to model this turbulent viscosity mu t. For that today we will discuss few turbulence model and we will see how to find this mu t. So you can see this is the Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equations we derived, and this is the additional term Reynolds stress, and then we used Boussinesq eddy viscosity approximation and we have written this equation where this mu effective is mu plus mu t, where mu t is eddy viscosity and it is still unknown, and this is the effective pressure, this is the mean pressure plus 2/3 rho k, where k is the turbulent kinetic energy from this fluctuating velocity. So now how to determine this eddy viscosity? So you can see that there are different models available. Already we have discussed this Prandtl's mixing length hypothesis, where we do not need to solve any extra equation. So that is a zero equation model. We have Spalart-Almaraz model, where we need to solve one extra equation, and several two equation models are available like standard k epsilon, RNG k epsilon, realizable k epsilon and k omega model. So if we want to model this turbulent flow numerically, then we need to solve this Reynolds average Navier-Stokes equations. Along with we need to solve some other equation to find the unknown eddy viscosity mu t. We have seen that in zero equation model we just model this turbulent viscosity as rho L square, the absolute values of del u bar by del y, where L is the mixing length. So you model this L using this Prandtl's mixing length hypothesis as L is equal to kappa y. So you can see it is the simplest way to model it, and if you use it, then this turbulent viscosity you can write rho kappa square y square, this absolute value of del u bar by del y, and you know that this is the absolute value we are taking, such that the value of this turbulent viscosity will be positive. So you can see that it has advantages as it is easy to implement and it is computationally cheaper, as we do not need to solve any additional equations to calculate this turbulent viscosity. But it has disadvantages like it is completely incapable of describing the flows with separation or circulation. Now let us discuss one of the two equation turbulence model. So we will first discuss about the standard k epsilon model. So you can see k stands for turbulent kinetic energy, and this epsilon is the dissipation rate of this turbulent kinetic energy. So epsilon generally is represented as nu del u prime by del xj, del u prime by del xj and time average. So now let us derive the equation for this turbulent kinetic energy, and then we will write down the equation for this dissipation rate epsilon. So we will start from the Navier-Stokes equations in tensorial form, and we will derive the equation for turbulent kinetic energy. So you know that in general we have the Navier-Stokes equation del u I by del t plus del of del xj u I u j is equal to minus 1 by rho del p by del x I plus del of del xj nu del ui by del xj. Okay. Let us say this is equation number 1. Now, if you substitute u I is equal to u I bar plus u I prime and u j is equal to u j bar plus u j prime and p is equal to p bar plus p prime. Okay. So, these are Reynolds decomposition. So, if you substitute it here, okay, and if you take the average of the entire equation, then we will get del u I bar by del t plus del u I prime bar by del t plus del of del x j u I u j bar plus u I prime u j prime bar plus u I bar u j prime bar plus u I prime u j bar is equal to minus 1 by rho del p bar by del x I minus 1 by rho del p prime bar by del x I plus del of del x j nu del u I bar by del x j plus del of del x j nu del u I prime by del x j bar. So, you can see that some of the terms will be 0. So, because you know that the time average of this fluctuating component u I prime bar will be 0. So, this will be 0. Okay. You can see that this term, okay, so this will be 0, this term will be 0, this term will be 0, and you can see this is also the time average of this fluctuating component. So, this will be also 0. Okay. So, you can see that after substituting this here and taking the average, we just wrote this, and after simplification we can write this equation as del u I bar by del t plus del of del x j u I u j bar plus u I prime u j prime bar is equal to minus 1 by rho del p bar by del x I plus del of del x j nu del u I bar by del x j. Okay. And obviously, this is the Reynolds test. So, that we can take in the left hand side, and we can write del u I bar by del t plus del of del x j u I bar u j bar is equal to minus 1 by rho del p bar by del x I plus del of del x j nu del u I bar by del x j minus del of del x j. So, we are taking this term in the right hand side, which is your Reynolds trace bar. Let us say that this is equation number 2. So, now you subtract equation number 2 from equation number 1, then let us write the equation in terms of the velocity fluctuations. So, you can see that obviously, if you subtract this equation 2 from equation 1, then you will get this u I minus u I bar, which we can represent in terms of this fluctuating velocity u I prime. So, we can write subtract equation 2 from equation 1. Okay. Then what we will get? We can write del u I prime by del t, because u I bar by minus ui, sorry, ui minus ui bar will be ui prime plus del of del xj, it will be ui bar by uj prime plus uj bar ui prime plus ui prime uj prime minus ui prime uj prime bar. So, you make some additional simplification, then you will get this. Then right hand side we have minus 1 by rho del p prime by del xi plus del of del xj nu del u prime by del xj. Okay. So, this is equation number 3. Now, multiply equation 3 by ui prime. Okay. So, that we can write in terms of the turbulent kinetic energies. You can see that if you multiply ui prime here, so it will be ui prime square, and that is the representation of this turbulent kinetic energy. So, if you write that, then you can see that we can write ui prime del ui prime by del t plus ui prime del of del xj ui bar uj prime plus uj bar ui prime plus ui prime uj prime minus ui prime uj prime bar is equal to minus 1 by rho del p prime by del xi plus del of del xj. So, here you need to multiply with ui prime, and if you multiply here by ui prime, then we can write this term. So, now each term let us individually see. Okay. So, if you write this equation as ui prime del ui prime by del t plus ui prime del of del xj ui bar uj prime plus ui prime del of del xj u bar j ui prime plus ui prime del of del xj ui prime uj prime plus ui prime del of del xj minus ui prime uj prime is equal to minus 1 by rho ui prime del p prime by del xi plus ui prime del of del xj nu del ui prime by del xj. So, now let us look each and individual these terms. Okay. So, let us say this is, so this is your 1, this is term 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6 and this is 7. Okay. So, let us say term 1. Okay. So, what we can write? So, if you take ui prime inside, so we can write this term as del of del t half ui prime square. Okay. So, ui prime if you take inside, then obviously it will become half del of del t ui prime square. Now, term 2, so this term you can see that this we can write as ui prime, okay, and this we can write del u I bar del uj prime by del xj plus uj prime del ui bar by del xj. Okay. And then we can write, you can see that this is nothing but the continuity equation satisfying the fluctuating velocity component. So, this will be 0, right. So, you can see that this term is 0 because this is actually the continuity equation satisfying by the velocity fluctuating components. Okay. So, that we have already derived. So, this we will get as u j prime del u I bar by del x j, and we have another u I prime. So, we can write this term as u I prime u j prime del u I bar by del x j. Now, term 3, okay. Similarly, we can write u I prime u j bar del u I prime by del x j plus u I prime del u j bar by del x j. So, here you can see that this is the continuity equation satisfied by the mean velocity. So, this will become 0. Okay. So, this is 0. So, we will get u I prime u j bar del u I prime by del x j. Now, you take this u I prime again inside this derivative. So, what we will write u j bar del of del x j half u I prime square. Now, let us write this term 4. So, you can see this is the term 4. So, similarly, you can write u I prime u I prime del u j prime by del x j plus u j prime del u I prime by del x j. So, this is also 0, right. So, this is 0. So, we can write. So, this now we can write. So, u I prime u j prime this. So, you can write u j prime and u I prime if you take inside. So, you can write del of del x j half u I prime square. Okay. And now, if you take this u j prime inside this derivative. So, what we can write? We can write del of del x j u j prime half u I prime square as you have taken inside. So, there will be minus half u I prime square del u j prime by del x j. Okay. So, you can see again this is 0, right. Okay. So, we can write this term as del of del x j u j prime half u I prime square. Now, let us consider this term 5. Okay. So, term 5 if you write, okay. So, you can see that we will keep as it is, okay, u I prime del of del x j minus u I u j prime bar. Okay. Now, part 6 and part 7, now let us simplify part 6. Okay. So, we have this term u I prime del p prime by del x I. So, we will take u I prime inside. So, we can write this as del of del x I. Let us keep the viscosity also. So, we can write 1 by rho u I prime p prime minus 1 by rho p prime del u I prime by del x I. Okay. So, now this is again continuity equation. So, this will be 0. We can write this term as del of del x I 1 by rho u I prime p prime, and the last term part 7, sorry, we are writing term. So, this is term 6 and term 7. So, we have u I prime del of del x j nu del u I prime by del x j. So, if you take this inside, so you can write del of del x j nu u I prime del u I prime by del x j minus nu del u I prime by del x j and del u I prime by del x j. So, you can see that all the terms we have written in such a way that we can define the turbulent kinetic energy, or we can represent the turbulent kinetic energy. So, now all these terms from term 1 to term 7 let us put in the original equation. So, if you put, we will get del of del t half u I prime square plus u I prime u j prime del u I bar by del x j plus u j bar del of del x j half u I prime square plus del of del x j u j prime half u I prime square plus u I prime del of del x j minus u I prime u j prime bar. So, in the right hand side we have minus del of del x I 1 by rho u I prime p prime plus del of del x j nu u prime u I prime del u I prime by del x j and minus nu del u I prime by del x j del u I prime by del x j. So, next what we will do, we will take the time average of this whole equation. Okay. So, take the time average of the above equation. Okay. So, then we can represent as del of del t half u I prime square bar plus u I prime u j prime bar del u I bar by del x j plus u j bar del of del x j half u I prime square bar plus del of del x j. So, we have this u j prime u I prime square bar plus this will be u I prime bar del of del x j minus u I prime u j prime bar, and right hand side we have del of del x I 1 by rho u I prime p prime bar plus del of del x j nu u I prime del u I prime by del x j bar minus nu del u I prime by del x j del u I prime by del x j bar. So, you can see that this we have already defined as dissipation rate per unit kinetic energy, right. So, this is the dissipation rate. So, now you can see this is the representation of this turbulent kinetic energy, and you can see that this is u I prime bar. So, u I prime bar will be 0. So, this term is 0. So, now we can write the equation. Okay. So, this we will write as del of del t. So, this we will write k, because this is the turbulent kinetic energy half u I prime square bar plus, now this term you see, this term. Okay. So, this we write as u j bar and this will be del k by del x j. Okay. This is the turbulent kinetic energy. In the right hand side if you take, so this term, so we can write minus del of del xj. Okay. What are the terms we have? So, this is one term, half uj bar ui prime square bar plus 1 by rho. So, this will be xi. Okay. So, now this xi we are interchanging with j. So, we can write 1 by rho u. So, del of del xj we have written. So, uj we can write prime p prime bar. Okay. Then we have minus nu ui prime, this term del ui prime by del xj bar. Okay. What are the additional terms we have? So, this is one term. So, this will be minus ui prime uj prime bar del ui bar by del xj, and another term we have this term. So, it will be minus nu del ui prime by del xj del ui prime by del xj bar. So, this you can see, this we have already defined as the dissipation rate epsilon. Okay. So, now you can see that we have derived the equation for this turbulent kinetic energy K. Okay. So, let us see the significance of each terms. So, you can see this is the equation we have already derived. Okay. And this term we can write as the production term. Okay. This term as we can write as production term P, and this is the dissipation rate epsilon. Okay. And you can see that these terms we can model, because these fluctuating velocity components are unknown. So, that we can write del of del xj nu t by sigma k del k by del xj. So, these are some model constant sigma k, and obviously nu t is the turbulent viscosity, and this is the term P we are representing, and this is the dissipation rate epsilon. So, you can see that this is a convective diffusive equation, right. So, you can see this left hand side is the inertia term, this we can represent as a viscous term, and some additional source terms are there. Okay. So, you can see that it is a rate of change of k. Okay. So, this term is rate of change of k. Okay. So, k is the turbulent kinetic energy, and this is the, obviously you can see that inertia term. Okay. So, convective term, and this you can see that this is diffusive term, and this term, okay, we are representing as P, which is your rate of production. And this epsilon is your dissipation. So, it is rate of destruction. So, you can see that to solve this equation we need to know the value of nu t as well as the dissipation rate epsilon. So, we need another equation for dissipation rate epsilon. So, we are not going into detail of derivation of this equation, but we are writing the final equation for the dissipation rate. So, you can see dissipation rate of k is this after using some model constants, and these model constants are found by fitting the data from the experimental values. Okay. So, you can see again this is the similar way, this is rate of change of epsilon, this is the convective term, this is the diffusive term, and this is the rate of production, and this is the rate of destruction. Okay. So, now we need to know all these model constants, sigma k, sigma epsilon, C epsilon 1, C epsilon 2, and this P is the rate of production. So, you can see that in standard K epsilon model there are some model constants which are found from the experiments. So, these are empirical constants. So, you can see C mu is 0.09, C epsilon 1 is 1.44, C epsilon 2 1.92, sigma k is 1 and sigma epsilon is 1.3. Once you find the value of k and the epsilon, then you will be able to calculate the eddy viscosity mu t as rho C mu k square by epsilon, where C mu is this model constant. So, you can see that this K epsilon model has some advantages, as it is relatively simple to implement and it is widely validated turbulence model. However, it has some disadvantages, like it gives poor prediction for swelling and rotating flows and flows with strong separation. So, there are some improved models like RNG K epsilon model. RNG stands for renormalization group model, and here we solve two equations, one for k and another equation is epsilon with some different empirical constants, and you can see these are the model constants. So, C mu is 0.0845, C 1 epsilon is 1.42, C 2 epsilon is 1.68, alpha k is 1.39 and alpha epsilon is 1.68. So, obviously these equations you can see here, these model constants are there, and these you need to use these model constants, and once you find this k and epsilon, you will be able to calculate this eddy viscosity mu t as rho C mu k square by epsilon. So, obviously you can see that it has improved prediction for flows with high streamline curvature and strain rate and transitional flows. Another two equation model is there, that is known as K omega model, where omega is the dissipation per unit kinetic energy. So, we are not going into details of derivation of these equations, but we are writing this equation. So, this is the equation for K and this is the equation for this dissipation per unit kinetic energy omega. So, here you can see that there are some model constants like here you have sigma k, beta star, alpha, beta 1. So, these are the empirical constants. Beta 1 is equal to 0.075, beta star is equal to 0.09, alpha is equal to 0.553, sigma k is equal to 2, sigma omega is equal to 2. So, once we solve these two equations, then we will be able to find k and omega, and from there we can find the eddy viscosity mu t as rho k by omega. So, this k omega model has much application in aerospace engineering. It gives improved performance for boundary layers under adverse pressure gradient. So, there are different turbulence model we have discussed, where standard K epsilon model is a versatile model where you have the flow separation, and it is best for industrial internal flows, and also this model is good for this aerospace application. However, we have this RNG K epsilon model which is good for transitional flow, and for this K omega where you have rotational flow, we have much strain rate. So, in those cases we can actually use this K omega model. Thank you.